Okay, so it says in number 12, find the geometric mean of 4 and 8. And you just had to know the definition. Geometric mean of two numbers is you multiply the two numbers, let's say x and y, and then take the square root of the answer. So let's do that here. On this one it says 4 times 8, then take the square root. Well, that's the square root of 32. And 32 is actually the square root of 16 times the square root of 2, which 16 is a normal 4 times root 2. So that's your answer, 4 root 2. Done. Took me about 30 seconds to do that. Okay, in number 13 it says find the value of the variable and round to the nearest tenth, so 1 decimal place. So we need z. So that sounds, okay, pretty doable. If I could get this piece right here, then I'm in good shape. Okay? Because I can just add it to 8. So z is the question mark plus 8. So let's see what we got here. Well, how do I get, if I don't really have a way to do this. I'm kind of stuck here, except that I noticed that I can kind of find this with boomerang. Why? Because I have a side and I need a hypotenuse of the big one. I have the big one of the sides and I have the short piece of the hypotenuse. So I'm going to try boomerang here. There's other ways to do this. There's one that where you find the Pythagorean theorem and then do heartbeat. That also works. But I'm going to try boomerang. So boomerang, let's use our blue here. If I know this, I should start over here and work my way that way when I do it. So I'm going to do that here. So let's do the boomerang. So I'm going to go along the hypotenuse, that's z. Then I'm going to go up the 10, back down the 10. And the 10 is in the big triangle, it's the shortest leg. So I'm only going to use the short piece of the hypotenuse, which is 8. So we've got that there. Let's do it. We'll write things as we draw it. So we have here, that is 8. Sorry, that is z. It crosses the 8, but we don't need the 8. It's going to go up the 10. It's going to go down the 10. And then we're going to come back and only use the piece of 8. So that's how we can get it directly. We don't even need the question mark. That's if you do it the second way. So I was thinking of it a different way. So but I found a faster way. So z equals 8. Z times 8, sorry, is 8z. 10 times 10 is 100. Divide by 8 to both sides. Z equals, z is 12.5 with boomerang. Okay, so this is number 14, and it looks like a heartbeat problem. And why does it look like a heartbeat problem? Because you need an altitude here of the big triangle, and you need the two pieces of the hypotenuse. So that's the dead giveaway. It's a heartbeat, or I have those pieces there. So I'm going to try heartbeat here. And heartbeat would say, go down, up, down, and back that way. So let's try it. So we first of all come down the 1. Go up the x. Actually, it's really down the x. Go up the x, and then come down the 9. Okay, so we've got the heartbeat set up. We've got the proportion we can cross multiply. X squared. 1 times 9, well, isn't that convenient? That's 9. What's the square root of 9? X equals 3. That's how quickly we can do that problem. So this is number 15. I'm going to read it, but I'm only going to draw the triangle part that they gave us here. Okay? And so what they said was you want to cut down this dead tree, and you need to make sure it doesn't land on your house, but you need to find its height. So the height is the hypotenuse of the big triangle there, and you see that in the picture. You first, so you use a metal square to line up the top and bottom of the tree, and the vertical distance from the ground to your eyes. So basically eye level is 6.1 feet, which I drew in there. And you are about 16 feet away from the tree. So that means this distance here, even though it's down here that your distance is, you can bring it up there. Okay, so down here is where the distance is from your feet to the bottom of the tree. You can slide that up and get the 16 there. Okay? And what they want you to do is get the height of the tree. So we need the whole thing. We want this, not just the 6.1, we want the whole thing. So what piece do we need to get that? We actually need to just get this piece right here. Okay, we just need that piece. So let's call that Y. Let's call it, yeah, we'll call it Y, because when we add them together, we'll get the height. The height is going to be whatever Y is plus 6.1 feet. Okay? Okay, so let's do that here. And it's this, again, we know this. A clue about what to do is we know this and we have this, and so that means we have an altitude. Looks like a heartbeat problem. Let's use heartbeat. So we're going to go up the hypotenuse, so that's 6.1. We're going to then go, that's the altitude of the big right triangle, which is 16. Then we're going to come back down it, which is 16, and then we're going to go up the Y. Okay, so now we can cross multiply this, and what we're going to get is 16 squared. When you, whoops, that doesn't look like a squared. Put up here. When you cross multiply this times this, when you do this, you get 6.1y. So I divide by 6.1, divide by 6.1. Those will go away, and I'll know what y is. So let's figure that out. So that gave us 41.96 feet when I did all that work for y. So let's put that other information in here. This is going to go over here. So I'm going to have to go, the height is really 41.96 plus 6.1, which is basically, it's 48.1. That doesn't look neat. 48.1 feet tall. So now you have to just be careful that tree doesn't fall on your house.